So I am currently in one trade and have two positions open. Today is Tuesday, October 17th. The market's pretty ugly. Like, look at how this is moving. Been holding it down so far. However, I am also on a call, and again, hold on. I don't know if it's obvious, but Swaggy community. And in his live trading live, he has a couple of mentors. Usually this man, Emilio, right? Super dope, super smart, love his calls, right? He only trades Nas. But today, I don't know if he does this normally, but he has EU open, bruv. They're looking at EU, and on his end, he's waiting for either these lows or that high to be ran. He's mostly on the side of the sell side being ran and then price shooting up to the upside. However, when I joined the call, I already had my positions in. So I'm gonna hold it 10 toes right now. Feeling a bit uneasy only because we just been pretty stagnant. Okay, I had to pause and say this. It is January 6th. I've waited forever to put this footage out, obviously. But I'm looking at price as I'm editing. And I know I'm recording, literally myself of recording a screen, and I am so sorry, but check this. I forgot what time frame I was monitoring this trade on. I think it was like the 15-minute. But this, oh, hold on. There is this PD array that I'm seeing that really caught my eye, and that is this inverse imbalance right here. Price traced to the downside gives us an imbalance, then aggressively closed above it, and here we trade into it. It formed a swing low formation and then close above this high, basically changing the direction of price. And I see from a technical standpoint how I could have avoided this mistake, and it's just so interesting seeing it now, literally like 3 months later. Anyway, back to the video. In the middle, what I am waiting is for price to aggressively displace below this low right here, or even below this low. But below this low right here would just be perfect. I already have my risk mitigated on this position. My stop loss on this position is the same as my second open position. On this one, we're still at full risk and we are going the total opposite way. As of right now, I'm waiting. Price is respecting this high. Right now, we're just holding it down. I'm gonna still be on the lookout to see what Emilio does. But yeah, I'm not taking any signals. Really, I'm just on his calls. I love his calls. I think he offers a lot of value, and to see how he actively manages as well, I love seeing that. So right now we're pushing towards our stop loss. We are still respecting this high. Let's just see what we do. Let me just mark that out just to mark that out, you know. Literally 2 seconds after I stopped recording, it hit my stop loss. Lost 0.5% on this position and barely lost anything. I mean, for this position, my stop loss was right here. So yeah, I mean, sorry y'all, I've been eating. I mean, it was just, I'm not pressed about this loss at all, to be very honest. I don't know. I feel like, to me, this was just a regular loss. I don't know. Obviously, I do have to look over it, see what I could have done better, what I could have done different. Clearly, what Emilio is doing, I'm still looking at the call, and I think now he's gonna go for, obviously, the buy side to be taken. and then we tank. So we survived another day to trade. That's that. I have work later, so yeah, you gotta get ready for that. Here we are. I'm about to do a full breakdown on this position and why I decided to execute this sell. So here we are on the 4-hour chart. I have a bearish objective at this daily low. After seeing that we have swept these highs right here and then displaced to the downside, at some point price is bound to trade back into premium. Here we have a big imbalance that is embedded with a breaker. After seeing that we have rejected pretty aggressively off of the 50% of the current range that we are trading in, I thought, okay, we might just be ready to tank to the downside, right? When did this happen? This occurred, we ended up rejecting off of the 50% of the current range that we are trading in at the beginning of New York AM session. I decided to monitor this inversion imbalance or inversion fair value gap, which is also embedded with this breaker right here. Price traded into our inversion fair value gap. I went down to the 1 minute, and that is where I went to wait for my confirmation. I hope it's, for me reading this is very easy, but I can obviously see that there is a lot of lines and it might be a bit confused to read. This outline box right here is the imbalance. This is our 15-minute inversion imbalance, which is my PD array for this initial trade, right? We then displace to the downside. This is the 1 minute, right? We form a high inside of our imbalance, and then we then displace to the downside beautifully, actually, leaving us this imbalance, and that is where I placed my first entry, right? Slightly below the imbalance, just to assure that I would get triggered in. I started to look for a second entry after we displaced again to the downside, closing below the open of this bullish candle, leaving us in imbalance, and that's where I entered. But however, price decided to reverse on us, and I was just ultimately wrong about the entire direction. Like, I was just wrong. It didn't even hit my stop and came back. No, it hit my stop and then kept going. That's that. This is really just, it was a lesson. It was definitely a lesson learned. I don't regret the trade whatsoever. I don't regret executing it at all because I followed all of my rules before I took my trade and while I was taking my trade, like while I was managing it. So I risked properly. It didn't hurt me whatsoever. Yeah, bro, literally live to trade another day. So